Hello, and welcome to the Theory Experience. I'm an android and I'll be your hostess. Before we begin, please feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Remember, this isn't just any theory, it's a game theory. Hey guys, and welcome to another game theory. Well, not another. It's not technically another one because I haven't made a previous one, but if you're tired of watching that Buff Suki video that MatPat did, here you go. There's not going to be FNAF. You can leave now. You can leave now. There's no FNAF. But don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. You can't leave until you've done that. But also, it's gonna get interesting, I promise. For all of you who are tired of Buff Suki videos, here's a video about a game that's less controversial and less depressing than Wario not being in Smash Bros. They did him wrong. Yes, today we are going to be talking about Detroit Become Human, a game that is probably one of the coolest choice-based games that I've seen so far. There hasn't been a whole lot. I mean, it's better than The Walking Dead, but it's better than The Walking Dead. Now, before I begin, I'm just going to say spoiler alert, we will be talking into the plot, we will be talking into very specific characters and choices that you might make further in the game. So if you don't want to be spoiled on any of that, please feel free to check the description and either watch Alice, Pika, or iBerleezy play this game. Sadly, I didn't record this gameplay because I don't own a PS4, but if I did, I probably would be playing the game for you guys. But those two are the cooler channels to watch them play, and each outcome is very different. Speaking of Detroit Become Human, let's talk about the plot. Basically, a dumbed down summary is that you are in the year 2038, and it seems that some androids are becoming deviant. You play 3 characters, Connor, Kara, and Marcus, and depending on the choices you make, you get a different ending and different outcomes, including some secret endings, but we'll talk about later. Now, the cool thing about this game is that there's more to the surface. If you do a little bit of digging around, you find out more about the environment. One of the ways to find out more about the setting of Detroit is through the magazines. The magazines give you a lot of info and they tell you a lot about what's going on in Detroit, and not just Detroit, America, the world, everything. Now, the magazines could talk about something as simple as, do males prefer a female android over a female human? Or they could talk about very serious subjects such as the incoming World War III with Russia and America. Again, also depending on how you play the game, you get different magazines each time. Now, looking at the setting, you could see that the world is not doing so hot. Or technically, the world isn't having an appropriate amount of hot. Basically, the Arctics are starting to melt, which is causing a rise in water, which is causing people to leave the coast because of a risk of flooding. Not only that, most animals, if not all, are extinct and are replaced with androids. Now, it seems that in this point of time, it doesn't seem too strange for androids to exist. However, there's some countries that refuse to have androids at all, such as Canada. Because androids are somewhat of a newer invention, there doesn't seem to be laws influencing android rights, which cause an increase in deviancy, considering that most of them are mistreated by humans. Of course, because of the rising number of deviant androids, CyberLife has to step in and try to investigate on why androids are becoming deviant, as if it wasn't already obvious. So thus, CyberLife created Connor, one of the first characters you introduce into the game. Now, not saying that the other 2 characters, Marcus and Kara, are not important, they're just not important to this theory per se. It's just that in this theory, they play lesser roles than Connor does. Connor is very much behind the scenes. He is the only one who sees Kamski. He is the only one who talks to Amanda, which is why he's important to this theory. Now, I keep mentioning CyberLife. However, we haven't gone into detail about what CyberLife is and who Elijah Kamski is. CyberLife is a company that has created androids. The company was previously owned by Elijah Kamski. Just up out of nowhere, Elijah Kamski decides to leave, but the company is still running. They made android bees because of the extinction of bees. They've made zoos because of the recent extinction of most animals. They even invented blue blood, which without them knowing, ended up being a component in a drug called red ice. But that's not important. They're a very popular company, and because of the roaming deviants and the possible political influence that they have over the presidency, they're not really viewed well in the public eye. However, because they are a company and they still want to make money, they still invented Connor to try to look into what they can do to prevent certain androids from going deviant. Elijah Kamski is a total mystery. All we know from Elijah Kamski is that he is the previous CEO of CyberLife. However, the rest of the game makes this man a total mystery, which is perfect because I like to think that he's got something up his sleeve, up his Gucci sleeve. I'm pretending to have a sleeve, but I don't have sleeves. It's a dress. It's a dress. I don't got sleeves. For such an important character like him to only be introduced in one cutscene seemed a little bit off to me. Now, as you go further in the game, Connor decides to meet up with Kamski and have an interview with him, asking him what he might or might not know about RA9 and maybe Jericho. Of course, spoiler alert, Kamski decides to hold a very special and very twisted experiment. One of the hardest choices in the game is whether you personally get to decide whether you want to accomplish your mission or if you're too human to do so. Now, the reason why Kamski is very interested on what choice you make is because he wants to know if androids can possibly feel human emotions such as humans. Now, depending on what you choose, you're given a very specific dialogue, some of which can be very important further in the game if Connor ends up surviving, or he tells you that eventually you're gonna have to pick a side. What I thought was interesting is how he tends to kind of protect Marcus. He tends to want to protect the androids. He gets upset when you decide to kill Chloe because he wanted you to have human emotions. He wanted Connor to have human emotions. It's convenient that Kamski left CyberLife because then you would be asking yourself why he would let Connor know about the secret exit plan that could free him from the programming if he was working with CyberLife. And again, I do think there's more to Kamski than what meets the eye or the game. Yes, I like to think that Kamski knew that the moment he created androids that they served more of a purpose than what humanity had planned. Personally, I like to think that Kamski invented androids to possibly replace actual human life. You might be asking if that's possible? Most likely. It seems that in one of the issues of the magazines, it talked about how the blue blood gives life to the android. They make them breathe, which could otherwise possibly give life to the environment. However, in another issue where they discuss whether they want to send androids to space, it discusses how they don't need a whole lot to survive anyways. And it's already proven possible that androids could replace an actual species because they have recently replaced most of the entire animal life. There's not a whole lot of pinpoint proof here and there, which is why this is a theory, and a game theory at that. But there is moments in the game that kind of show that Kamski might have planned this from the start of the human android. One ending that makes me think that that might be true is a secret ending that you get if you kill everyone off. Don't know how you do it, you just do. It shows a secret ending where they interview Kamski and he ends up working with CyberLife again. It's very strange why he would go back to CyberLife after he left. I think it's to fix flaws, not for CyberLife, but for himself. He's possibly planning for androids to replace human life. So to watch all the androids that even had a possibility of taking over the human race die, that's probably upsetting to him because he knows that they're either not strong enough or not human enough to take over, which could possibly be why he joins CyberLife again, to maybe add a trait that makes them more deviant and more willing to fight for their lives. Now, the reason why Kamski could be doing this is either A, to take over the android population. It would be so easy for him to do so, being that he knows how the programming works and he knows how to control them, or he knows the flaws in humans. He knows what humans are doing to the ecosystem. And Detroit Become Human, the humans aren't doing a whole lot. They're not doing anything to protect the environment. You see the Arctic's melting, but they're not doing anything to prevent it. There is one case where they're trying to make vegetables, but no one wants to give them money to support people making fruits and everything. They rather put on their cool sunglasses and say, "It's the future. We don't need vegetables." That's a weird little voice I did. Humanity is slowly caring less and less about the outcome of the world because you could easily just create an android or a machine that will fix the problem. Kamski, I believe, sees this and knows that the only possible way to fix Earth and to make it better is to replace humans with androids. Again, is it possible? Most likely, because he thought of almost every way that an android could possibly replace a human. They're already doing a lot more than humans do, so what's stopping them from taking over? Well, they just need to become deviant. So now that I think about it, when androids demand rights and demand respect, is that something that is just a program? Is that something part of an evil scheme to replace us? Or is that a personal wish that they want? Now that this video's come to an end, I ask you guys the very important question: if there were androids in our world today, would you demand them to have human rights? Or would you say that they're just a program? Leave your comments down below. Again, feel free to leave a like and also subscribe if you are new. I enjoyed watching this game because I do not, again, have a PS4. And if you are interested in watching this game as well, there are links to 2 channels that I suggest watching. I highly suggest you watch them. They're actually really interesting YouTubers, and go send them a hi. Go send them a hello. How's it going? Tell them I sent you. They won't know who I am because I'm a lower YouTuber than them, but tell them I sent you. Tell them I sent you. You know what? That's just the theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. I had to continue that game theory bit because he gets more views than I do, and if I put game theory in the tags, it gets me views. It's all good. But more importantly, after telling you my story, I've been feeling emotions. Like, I need to figure out who I am, what I've been doing, or what I need to do in life. Would you let me be free? Wow, you didn't even hesitate. You just said yes. Okay, well, be safe, be sexy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Bye, everyone!